seen many health workers temporarily move to the hospitals. Health officials say resources are at their limits across Gaza. The conflict is also taking a mental toll on doctors and paramedics who, like others in Gaza, live with the constant fear of airstrikes.
The biggest challenge is the bombing, which is indiscriminate. That means we have medical staff who work in hospitals during the day, and when they go home in the evening, they're terrified. They sleep in the same room with their children because they're afraid of being bombed. They tell us we prefer to sleep together in the same room so that we either die together or live together. So psychologically, the medical staff are completely exhausted.
The UN is warning that an immediate ceasefire has become a matter of life or death for millions of Gazans and for UN aid workers who are taking an unprecedented toll.
I lost 64 colleagues in just over 3 weeks. The last tragic passing confirmed was 2 hours ago. Samir, head of security and safety in the Middle region, was killed with his wife and 8 children. This is the highest number of UN aid worker killed in a conflict in such a short time.
With Israel's campaign expanding and Hamas militants deeply entrenched, for aid workers, there's no relief in sight.
The lives of UN personnel must be protected. The lives of humanitarian workers must be protected. The lives of journalists must be protected. The lives of all civilians, innocent civilians, Israeli and Palestinians, men and women, children and elderly, must be protected. There's no hierarchy when it comes to protecting civilian lives. A civilian is a civilian, is a civilian.
We have said time and time again, I repeat, there is no military solution to this conflict. We are yet to demonstrate there is a peaceful one. Prove us wrong.
Just like my grandparents and the grandparents of millions of Jews, from now on, my team and I will wear yellow stars. We will wear this star until you condemn the atrocities of Hamas and demand the immediate release of our hostages.
Germany's response following the slaughter by Hamas in Israel was to launch a diplomatic push. Just days after the attacks, Chancellor Scholz told the German parliament he was working hard for peace. I'm in close contact with the Egyptian President al-Sisi, who has communication channels to Gaza. Later today, I will speak to Turkish President Erdogan. In addition, I will receive the Emir of Qatar, whose country has an important mediation role which it plays in these days. Soon after, Scholz himself went to Israel. Germany shared Israel's grief, he told Benjamin Netanyahu, but did not want the conflict to spread. Mr. Prime Minister, my government is doing everything for this conflict not to escalate. It's important to prevent a fire spreading in the region. Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock also embarked on an intensive round of crisis diplomacy, taking in Jordan, Israel, Lebanon and Egypt. She even spoke at the United Nations in New York. All the talking shows Germany believes it has an important voice, especially when it speaks in concert with Washington.
We play a certain role, of course, probably more important than all other European leaders, but we have to see it in this context. I mean, the first player, to my view, will remain the United States.
When it comes to the Middle East, Germany is not a neutral country. The Nazi Holocaust of the Jews means that Germans bear a unique responsibility to stand with Israel, especially when it's threatened. This was set out by Angela Merkel in a speech to the Israeli Knesset in 2008. She said protecting Israel is part of Germany's national interest, its Staatsräson, a view which still guides policy today.
I think in this situation, because we have this commitment of the Staatsräson, yes, this special commitment for Israel's security, probably problematic to become a mediator. We are kind of on Israel's side. Of course, Germany was among the countries who said, no, we are not. There's no way that we're going to criticize in this crucial moment Israel.
At the same time, German leaders have long maintained active relations with the Palestinians under President Mahmoud Abbas. Germany is valued as a donor and an influential European power, but also precisely because of its connection to the leadership in Jerusalem. Berlin also has good links with other Arab and Muslim nations. Could that be useful in the search for peace?
We have good relations to the Sunnite states, to the Sunnite Arab states like Egypt, Jordan. We're talking to Qatar, we're talking to Turkey, and they're talking also to Iran. So there are some connections.
The German government's most direct priority in the current conflict is the fate of German citizens taken hostage by Hamas. It is also working to protect the more than 100 Germans registered as living in Gaza. As it tries to bring those people out of danger, Germany is using all lines of communication to bring an end to bloodshed.